Everyone tells you the same thing. That you need more people, more friends, more conversations, more approval. Funny. Because the more people enter your life, the more confused you become. Maybe the problem was never being alone. Maybe the problem is that you never learned how to stay. The Stoics believed something that today sounds almost offensive. Solitude is not punishment, it's training. And while most people run from silence, a few are using that silence to become mentally indestructible. In this video, you will learn 5 Stoic lessons that explain why being alone can be the fastest path to self-mastery and why almost no one makes it to the end of this process. Stay until the end. The 5th lesson is what separates those who only consume content from those who actually change their lives. And subscribe now. Because if you leave without hearing this all the way through, you'll keep confusing solitude with weakness and paying that price every single day. Write the word discipline in the comments. You will understand why at the end. Lesson 1: Solitude reveals who really controls you. When you're alone, something strange happens. The noise disappears. And for the first time, you hear your own mind. That's exactly why so many people avoid this state. Epictetus said that no one is free who depends on what they cannot control. And few things control a person more than the constant need for company. Solitude doesn't create weaknesses. It reveals the ones that were already there. When there are no messages, no applause, no one watching, who are you? Most people discover something uncomfortable. They don't know how to deal with themselves. And that's why they fill the void with people, noise, distractions. Not out of love, but out of fear. But pay attention. This is still just the surface. Because the next lesson explains why this discomfort is exactly what you need. Lesson 2: Who can't stand their own company can't stand their own mind. If you meet someone around all the time, that's not connection. It's anesthesia. Seneca said that no one is ever alone who is in good company with themselves. But today, very few people can do that. They're not afraid of solitude. They're afraid of what appears when they're alone. Unresolved thoughts, ignored frustrations, desires they never had the courage to face. So they run. From conversation to conversation. From relationship to relationship. From distraction to distraction. But here's the Stoic truth. Whoever can't stand their own mind will always be its slave. Being alone isn't comfortable. But that's where you begin to separate who you are from who you pretend to be for the world. And that leads us to the 3rd lesson. The one most people prefer to ignore. Lesson 3: Self-mastery is born in silence. Discipline isn't born in groups. It's born when no one is watching. When there's no audience. No social pressure. No praise. Just you. And your decisions. The Stoics knew this. That's why they trained the mind in silence. And repetition. And invisible routines. Those who act only when they're seen don't have character. They have performance. Being alone exposes your impulses, your laziness, your lack of control. But it also gives you something rare. The chance to govern yourself. And here's a sentence that hurts, but frees. Whoever doesn't govern themselves will be governed by anything. People, opinions, emotions, circumstances. But mastering yourself has a price. And that's what the next lesson reveals. Lesson 4: Solitude destroys the ego. You don't miss people. You miss how they made you feel. Recognized. Validated. Important. When you're alone, the ego loses the stage. There's no one to admire you. No one to confirm the image you built. And that hurts. But the Stoics taught something simple. Your identity isn't in your image. It's in your character. Solitude forces you to face that. No distractions. No masks. No applause. This is where many give up. Because they prefer the comfort of illusion to the pain of truth. But if you endure it, if you push through that discomfort, you reach the final lesson. The most liberating of all. Lesson 5. Those who learn to be alone choose, they don't depend. Solitude is not the end. It's the filter. After you master yourself, people stop being a necessity and become a choice. You don't accept just any presence. You don't tolerate any behavior. You don't submit out of fear of being alone. The Stoics called this inner freedom. You connect, but you don't cling. You love, but you don't depend. Because those who are enough for themselves never accept less than they deserve. And here's the final point. Being alone isn't distancing yourself from the world. It's stopping running from yourself. If this video made you uncomfortable, it's because it touched where it needed to. Subscribe to the channel now. Here, we don't train to please. We train to master the mind. And write discipline in the comments. If you understood that solitude is not weakness, it's preparation. Few will write it. Even fewer will truly live it.